All right, we're live. Let me just quick get a post up on Instagram so people know that I'm live. A lot of my viewership comes from Instagram, I think. But if you guys are watching the replay, probably better to skip ahead a couple minutes because I'm going to wait for some people to jump on and then jump into some sourcing. So, uh, yeah, go ahead and do that. Let me just quick get a post up. There we go. All right. All right. Yeah, we're just going to be doing some live sourcing. I'm going to be looking for back to school items and hopefully we find something good for you guys. So give it another minute or so and then I will jump into some sourcing. Hope you guys had a good Friday. Jazz for the weekend. I don't have a lot going on. I am just catching up on the business. I have tons of things, big checklist that I need to get done. So hopefully I can knock off a bunch of those things. But all right. I think I've waited enough. Let's share my screen here and then we will jump right in and go to this screen. Yep. Okay. All right. So basically, going to keep it simple. Probably just going to do some sort of like Nike backpack. Actually, let's go with Nike football cleats because I want to try to get on maybe some sellers that are selling more of like the sports back to school and not just the backpack back to school. Might find some different leads there. So I think I did a live sourcing with like looking at the backpacks and seeing if I could find anything there. But this time I'm going to try to look at, like I said, we're going to go for like cleats, and then hopefully that leads us to other sports equipment or sports shoes that we could sell for back to school. So expensive ones here, really solid rank there. Let's open those up, and then yeah, I guess we just need like one starter. We don't need anything crazy here. A lot of vapor. Vapor. Okay, we'll just start with one, and then we'll look at the sellers on this listing and see where it takes us. So, just for fun, $100 max cost. Just see if we can find this one right off the bat. That would be kind of cool. Looks like Hibbett might have a sale on them, which would be pretty sweet right off the bat here. Again, we don't know variations or anything, but it looks like everybody else is sitting at 120. Maybe we can find a variation that is a little bit more expensive. Otherwise, probably going to just look at the sellers on this listing and reverse source off of them. But let's see. Okay. The black ones, which are, I don't think I saw. I mean, I guess we'll take a look, but those have a high buy box. Not a ton of reviews on stuff like this, but I mean, this listing is flying right now. So it could be just a lot of like when you don't see any one cleat or color dominating. Like we haven't seen ratings go up on some of these, but they're at the top. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, it could be it's been tracking for a long time. or it just started, getting tracked, or maybe it was popular at one point in the past and shot up in ratings to get to 100, and now it doesn't sell as often. So one thing we can do on a listing like this, when there's really not one variation that just runs away with all the ratings, is look for the ones that have increased recently. And that might be a better indicator of what's actually selling right now. Like this thing going up, going up. This one's kind of been on a steady increase. So stuff like that, even though it's 1%, like it's just been maybe tracking for, yeah, look, some of these ones have only been tracking for like a year, which means, they didn't even see ratings until like a little over a year ago. So these ones that have been around for like, you know, 4 years or whatever the number is here, that's why they have so many more reviews than some of these other ones. But we care about who's getting reviews recently. That's what we care about. So we can see that these couple, 167, I think that's what we currently are looking at. Yeah, so max cost 100 on that. If I scroll a little bit lower, this one, 153, again, 169. We want to see like 180, 190 to get closer to that, 120 buy cost with maybe a little bit of a discount in there. So this one shot up recently, size 11. That's like the white with the main colors, white and black. Those are going to be the best probably. So we can see this one sold a decent amount. That's pretty like niche of a color though. This one's increased again, the white, same thing, white. Just because they don't have a ton of reviews doesn't mean they're not selling. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at stuff. Yeah, a lot of this, like this exact variation has increased a decent amount in ratings, which means it's selling. And if it's a size that's like makes sense, like 9 through 12, anywhere in there, you're probably going to be able to sell it. So this one's 9.5, 185, 10.5, 180. Maybe that gets us a little bit higher of that max cost, so we can potentially buy this profitably. 112, getting closer. Again, if this thing was on sale at one point, doesn't look like it's really ever hit a massive sale that everyone found, because it's pretty, or people just, like I said, maybe people just don't know the variations and they're seeing that it only has a couple reviews, so they're not going to buy that low. But like we saw, it's getting ratings in the last like couple weeks. So this thing is definitely selling pretty consistently at, let's see, like 185. So if we were listed at 185, max cost 113, right? And then, I mean, we're going to only be sitting at like if we did like the 120 here, multiplied by like a 10%, catch-all or something, then we're sitting at like a 36%. Again, a little bit low, but to profit $40 with that, I mean, that's a pretty solid chunk there. I mean, you get like one return and there's like 3 shoes worth of profits. But again, I mean, this thing seems to be selling quickly. We can look at the data just to like get a little bit more. I'm sure this tells us something. It's not going to have all of the data that we would like to see, but and just so you know, like this stuff here, like going from 15 down to 4 is not a sale. Like someone didn't buy 9 pairs of shoes. It's probably FC transfer, like messing with the FBA stock counts. And this is something like this slow downtrend going from, 8 to 7 to 5 to 3, like that looks like sales that could have happened, right? It's more steady. It looks consistent with like stock count going down slowly. So, that makes a lot more sense. So this stock count, right? So we could assume that this person, even so, they went from 10 to 2. Probably think those 8 sales didn't actually happen, but it still counts it here. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at this data here, right? This column, it's not completely accurate. Like you can see here, this person went from 2 up to 12, shot way down to 4. I mean, these could be sales here, but then they just sat at 4 for a little while. So it's like, why, maybe this one doesn't sell as much as you might think, but, like these small, slower slopes are definitely sales. So, but we can see 166, again, it's probably like half of that with all the FC transfer spikes that it counts. Like this one goes from 1 to 11 back down to 4, while it thinks there's 7 sales mixed in there. So They actually only went from 15 down to 13, so 2 sales when this stuff was FC transfer. So really, this person only sold 2 probably in the last 30 days. But they could sell more faster. I mean, there's a reason they bought 15 of them. Probably saw some good data on the chart here. So, um, yeah, stuff like that. I mean, that's what I'm looking at here. So, I mean, there's definitely people selling a good amount. So, I am going to, if I were finding this profitably, I would definitely be buying some. Again, because it's moving so quickly, maybe we're okay taking a little bit lower percentage, even though it's shoes that get returned more. But maybe with cleats, it's a little bit lower return rate than like a normal everyday shoe because the person's, wearing them. And then if they like them, they're going to wear them to practice. They're going to wear them in games. Like it's not going to be, you know, they're not going to wear it for like a week. Well, they might wear it for a week and then return it. But most likely, if they like them, they're just going to keep wearing them because it's something that you have to use all the time. It's like an everyday shoe, like you're in them all the time. You want them to be super comfortable. You want them to look cool. Like those get returned more, but maybe cleats don't. So anyway, we're not looking at this cleat as much as we are who's selling the cleat, right? And then we can see there's 21 offers, a lot of FBA, but I'm actually going to look at the FBM sellers because I want to see who's merchant fulfilling this and then who's merchant fulfilling other sports equipment back to school items, because that to me is going to be some of those fast movers that we can probably merchant fulfill, and hopefully, like if they're merchant fulfilling this product, there's a good chance they're merchant fulfilling other products. So you just want to take advantage of that information and look for other products that they could be selling merchant fulfill, because if there's really low chance that they're merchant fulfilling one item. They're probably merchant fulfilling multiple, and chances are they're probably back to school items. So see, this person's straight Nike. They're selling a lot of different of the same variation, looks like. But let's look at Jordan, because sometimes Jordan is like, unless it's all shoes, I'm probably going to skip this seller if it is all shoes, because I'm not like why are you selling something that sells like once or twice a year? I don't care if you bought this for $30, and see their storefront price is way lower than the regular buy box, so this thing does not sell clearly. Not sure why they purchased this, but 200K, 600K, yeah. So I'm not a huge fan of this storefront already. Just glancing at it, even though they're merchant fulfilling certain things, probably they're buying these slow movers to make a big profit, but they're not. They're storing. That's why they're merchant fulfilling. They're storing them, at their own house, so they don't have to pay storage fees with Amazon. They can just hold it until it sells. So, not a huge fan of that business model as much. So we are going to skip that storefront. Let's take a look at this one though. Unless this is the same one. No, this is a different one. Okay. Also looks like they do a lot of shoes, so we just have to keep that in mind here. Let me see. We have a beauty item and an unknown. So the unknown, probably a clothing item. Let's see their one beauty item. Okay, it's not beauty. So Adidas. Let's look at Adidas just because maybe we'll find something other than shoes here. This person's store name is KP Kicks, so I would assume that they're selling a lot of shoes. Let's just skip that for now. I want to find someone who's selling shoes, but also maybe selling like footballs or, other gear, like sleeves and, whatever football gear they have nowadays, mouth guards. Like that would be cool to find. Another one was Sneaker Paradise. So this one might be all shoes as well. Yeah, I'm thinking this is, they have some other products here, which is kind of interesting. This one looks pretty consistent, basically between 30, 35, 46K rank, and tools isn't horrible. 16 max cost. Let's just take a look. Why not? We have time. You guys got any sourcing questions or back to school questions or merchant fulfill questions? Just throw them in the chat. I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, just thanks for hanging out with me on a Friday night. Okay, so variation, but ivory, I would assume sells a little bit better than white. Yeah, way better. Okay. And this thing's getting some ratings and it's going up pretty quickly. So like to see that. Price is really steady, not a lot of sellers. Seems like a decent product. So Let's see if we can get this for 16. How big are these? Only 4 inches tall. Okay, hopefully we can find this pretty cheap. Would assume, oh, 34 bucks for small ones. We want bigger ones. Okay. Got to make sure we have the right brand here too. Luminari. Sometimes it doesn't translate to Google well, so you just got to go 4 inches. 0.5 inches. Doesn't like the quotation. So got to take a look here. Hey Zach, thanks for joining the stream here. Okay, so we got it from the brand itself, 4.25, slightly different, but I mean, a 1/4 inch, that just might be. And then, of course, the picture shows 3 by 1.75. So I think we're going to probably trust the dimensions here and the dimensions here seem to be the same. 24.5. What do we got max cost? 16. Okay. I'm not going to spend too much time here. I don't know why I'm looking at this stuff, but just interesting, right? It's different than what, you saw. There's like not a ton of people on the listing. So it could have been a solid product if you found it profitably. Less competition in some of these like lower categories usually, because the lower categories are usually the ones that if they have 2,000 clothing listings, holy cows, probably a lot of shoes in there. Chances are they found some decent products, which means they could have found some of these products that are decent. So it doesn't hurt to check. Baby products, I mean, it's kid's shoe technically. Maybe they found a solid toy, Hot Wheel, that's can't even get cheap enough for really bad rank. Not sure what they're doing there. Let's look at grocery here. That's not a grocery item. Interesting why that got categorized there. Cell phones, not a fan of that category much. Sports and outdoors, there we go. Hopefully it's not all shoes, but we're gonna just keep scanning through here. So keep looking. We're going quickly. We want to see something other than shoes. Come on, give us something other than shoes here. And if we keep running into the shoe issue with all of these sellers, I'm just gonna go type in like football, something with football, and hopefully it brings up something other than cleats. Because we just search on Amazon, right? That's how I found these. It was just Nike cleats. All right here, Nike football cleats, right? We're gonna do Nike football sleeve or something. We're gonna try something different if I can't find anything other than shoes on some of these merchant fulfilled listings, because chances are, I mean, storage fees on shoes is pretty high. So my guess is this person has a warehouse or something where they're storing a bunch of shoes and they don't care about the rank as much as they care about the profit. And if you have enough products selling this kind of stuff, you're going to be able to sell all the time. And even if you buy something that's, 500K rank, maybe you sell like one a month, but you're making 40 bucks each. I mean, you do that enough times, you're going to have some massive profits. So if you want to deal with the returns and stuff like that, hey, go for it. But I do not. So I am not going to be focused on, like I said, cleats aren't the worst, but really not trying to focus on shoes. I'd rather focus on the other equipment stuff that is related to, back to school. So we'll do like one more merch fulfill here. Sneaker, fire now. Okay, avoiding the sneaker one. So this one, maybe we'll find something that's not just all sneakers. There we go. Look at that. We got a bunch of backpacks, even though we don't want to, I mean, we don't mind selling backpacks, but we're hoping to find products other than backpacks, because backpacks are the most searched item right now by resellers. So if we can find something that doesn't have as much competition, even better for us. Zach, if I suspect a shoe that I'm trying to FBA isn't going to sell, should I try to get them to send it back? You could do a removal order, and I mean, it wouldn't hurt to like list it on Amazon and eBay and Poshmark, wherever you're selling shoes. If it's brand new, and then if it sits in your basement or wherever in storage, you don't have to pay storage fees really. So that could be an option. But if you only have a couple pairs, like you're not going to pay a ton in storage fees. But if you don't think it's going to sell for the next 6 months, then might be a good option to send it home and store it there if it's really only a couple. Corey calls dibs on the next lead. You got it. Let's find a fire lead here. That's what I'm going for. This backpack, I don't know. I've never been able to find it online. Maybe I'm not good enough at searching, but there's a lot of Nike Elite. You just got to find like the right one. I don't know if this is like a 2022 version or 2019, whatever this is, but maybe this is like a retail arbitrage, um, product. Because look at this, they all have like the new Hoops Elite, like variation or whatever it is. So yeah, you just gotta make sure you get the exact match here. So we do have DH Gate. Avoid DH Gate. It's all fake products. Found that backpack and outlet. Yeah, that would be one to just go crazy on. 2K rank, man. So if this is an outlet find, then this is probably like people are going to outlets all the time, buying these up and selling them. To maintain a 2K rank, I mean, it's got to sell. What's the math on that? 1,700 divided by 30. It's got to sell over almost 60 times a day. So yeah, picked up a ton at those outlets. Okay, that makes sense because I'm like, how if you can't find it, with a ton of searching online, then how is it able to maintain a 2K rank? I mean, it's still going down. Sounds like I got to get to the outlets. Sold a bunch around 85. Yeah, this thing is like steady as a rock too. FBM sellers are getting it at 90, 47 max cost. I mean, you get this anywhere. I mean, I would take 50, right? And then we can merch fulfill. It's around like $8-9 to ship a backpack, at least for me. 37%, $18. If you can sell 50 a day, I mean, this is like a money product. So anybody listen, go to the outlets tomorrow if you got one nearby and look for this backpack. Could be, I mean, like I said, $90. If you find either variation, I'm sure they're both doing pretty well. Yep. Look at the ratings count on both of them. Just a straight incline. You got to love to see that. Even reviews are going up. So, yeah, definitely something to go find. I might have to make a trek. It's like an hour to the closest outlet for me. So, not an easy trek to get out there, but I am free this weekend. So, maybe be a fun little trip. Or they're all completely cleaned out and it's a waste of my time driving an hour. Anyway, so let's look at Amazon's on this, but the rank is crazy. $7 over a lunchbox can be really tough to find on that cheap. I've looked in stores and everything, and it's not an easy one here. But this backpack, let's see here, 47 max cost. I wonder if the stock is really low on this because $91 for a backpack is pretty expensive. Because I've looked at a lot of these listings. Okay. So this one's actually pretty interesting. I don't know if I've seen this much. So yeah, it's pretty expensive, like in stores. So maybe this is going to be a tough one. But 20K rank, I mean, it's basically at the lowest point it's been, which is good. All right, like backpacks. I mean, we're literally like middle of the month. This is like prime time to be selling right now. If free, should going to ASD. Wish I could. Just timing just didn't work out for me. But I would have loved to go. Corey, are you there right now, or are you? When are you going? Yeah, let me just look at this one quick, see if we can find this. Maybe this is another outlet find. So Dick's Sporting Goods 77. Yeah, it's just not quite cheap enough for us. JD Sports, what is the max we need? Yeah, 47. So this is a tricky one. This has got to be another outlet find. ASD is in Vegas. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Sweet. Yeah, have fun out there. I'm sure that you're going to see a lot of people that you saw at the sellers conference, and should be awesome. Hopefully, you find some good wholesale deals. I'll find you some good bolos here, and you find me a wholesale supplier that I can work with, and then we'll call it even. Classic. All right. Yeah, this one's definitely like got to be I mean, if you can't get it even, unless it's been on sale at Dick's Sporting Goods Finish Line, maybe brought it down to like 55 and people were buying it for lower ROI, but this could definitely be another outlet find. Or maybe Nike had 20% off. Oh, this is Canada. Don't want that. All right, we're not going to spend too much time on this one. Like I said, I'm interested to see if they have other products like this, but just not backpacks, because there just could be some really good items that are similar trend on the rank. Like you see the rank doing this. It's not just backpacks that have that exact thing. Deal. Yeah, yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. JCS, would you suggest pivoting to soccer football gear once back to school starts to fizzle out, trying to figure out what to start looking for once the backpack stops selling? That's a good question. I think, yeah, backpacks definitely taper off like mid-September, right? That's like one of those items that a lot of people, once you have it, you're not buying more, right? Like it's kids are in school beginning of September, so starts to taper off. But it's similar for like cleats. Like think of the stuff people are buying for sports, right? Like if it's soccer gear or like people are gonna buy like practice jerseys, practice shorts, you know, shirts to go like warm, heat gear as the season goes on. I know Under Armour has like their cool gear, heat gear line. So like stuff like that, people will still buy into the season. But I'm thinking like cleats once, unless something happens towards the end of the season where they need to buy new cleats. Once they buy their pair of cleats, they're not going to buy more. So, um, you know, that's kind of my take there. I don't know if soccer, football. I mean, I'm sure that stuff still does well. Like people are buying footballs. Like you got to replace stuff like that. Soccer balls, I'm sure. Any of the other fall sports, there's definitely like replenishables there. But I'm trying to think of other things. I mean, it's kind of like a great time to really go wide on a lot of things is my take on it. Once back to school season's over, there's like a 1.5 month lull until Q4 starts to really be the main focus. And you should definitely try to go really wide on a lot of different categories, a lot of products. Find some stuff that are solid products, right? Like I've been finding a ton of stuff in the tools and home improvement category. Um, Speaking from experience, I know that those items will probably be a good Christmas presents and stuff. Like my dad gets like some sort of tool or something every year. So, that stuff is only going to sell 10 times faster during Christmas. So, I think you should start really exploring a bunch of different products in different categories, find what stuff is decent. And then basically once you get to Q4, you're just doubling down on the stuff that already sells for you. You don't want to be doing a bunch of time, exploring new categories and stuff, because really that's not a good, utilization of your time. I think if you're just focusing on replenishing the stuff that's already selling and sticking to the categories that you're going to probably find leads a lot quicker during Q4, and then should be able to snowball into a massive month. That's what I plan on doing. And a lot of other sellers will tell you that too. Just don't try to do new stuff. Don't hire new employees. Like you don't want mediocreness, whatever it's called, that time of year. You want to be really doubling down on everything that you already know and really spending as much as you can on good leads, and that'll make for a big month. Um, I got some friends attending AMZ United. Yeah, I have heard about that. Uh, yeah, a lot of stuff going on this weekend apparently. Tools for Xmas dropping a little sauce right there. Yeah, yeah. That's I mean, you just think about like it's not just like the clothing and the sports and the beauty. Like every category goes crazy during Q4. So, and how many like dads do you know that have gotten tools at some point? It's like bound to happen. So even if it's like wrench sets or pliers or whatever it is, any tools, stuff's gonna sell. So that might be like a very underrated category, and you might see me live sourcing some of that stuff, when we get a little bit closer there. So stay tuned for those lives. Those will be some good ones. I'm going to try to start sourcing more often, but especially when there's like Q4 deals, hey, I'll be sharing stuff. I'll have too many leads to go around. I'll have to share them on my lives. So awesome. Thank you. Yeah, no problem, JC. Good question there. In general, does everything just sell more volume during Q4? Basically, I mean, it's insane. Like last year was my first like legitimate Q4. I had Q4. I was selling on Amazon the year before that, but I like only did 10,000 in sales, and that was a big month for me, which is kind of crazy to think about. But this last year I did 95, 96,000. So, and even then I was like thinking back on that, I'm like, wow, I really could have done so much more because I was focused on 2 or 3 ASINs that sold really well for me. So I was just replenishing them and then spending most of my time prepping those items after they sold. I was selling like a football that I sold 30 times a day from December 2nd to like the 20th. So like just buying those and then prepping them, buying them, prepping them. But I had probably 15 other items I could have been doing almost the same amount of volume. I just didn't even think of it because I was so preoccupied with like one or two ASINs. So this time around, there's just I'm gonna go crazy. So it's definitely like everything is just better. I mean, I wouldn't suggest going with like a ton of like 250K rank stuff, expecting it to sell a ton. But if you're buying stuff now that you have, or good replens that you have now that are sitting at like 100K rank, and they sell like the whole listing sells like 100 times a month, that specific listing during the month of December might sell 400 times. So if there's the same amount of supply on that listing, it's basically going to 4x. So, somewhere around there. It's not everything is going to do that, but certain listings that sell well for you are going to sell way better for you. So just be prepared to like go deeper on stuff like that, and it's going to be good. It's going to be a good month. So let's get back to sourcing here. Good questions though, guys. Keep it up. If you have anything else, I'm happy to chat. For it's Q4 chat today. I don't mind. I love talking about that stuff. So here's a product. I like the sales rank trend here. We're sitting only at 40K, but this $17 might be a little tricky. That could be like this might be like a TJ Maxx type product. This is something you find on discount there. But 17 seems a little low for a $45 max cost or buy cost here. So we're seeing this FBA. So FBM sellers are getting the buy box for 45. So probably still only get it for like $20. That's going to be pretty tough here. So let's just Google that quick. Yeah, we might not even, I haven't even seen this variation anywhere. So not sure who's keeping this in stock. It's got to be a find in stores or something. So again, let's just quick do a scan here. 5+ stores. Okay. Nike, eBay, Amazon, eBay. Yeah, so if it's all eBay sellers, we're going to avoid this one. This one seems similar to me. So were you mostly FBMing those ASINs? Yeah, after December 2nd, it was a ton of merch fulfill. Like it was just, I was buying them. I would list them as they were showing up at the door. I'd get the delivered email. I'd go right to Inventory Lab, list them, and all of them would sell. And then I would go print the labels, package them up, get them to the post office before they closed that day or the next day, whatever. It was mayhem. Corey says, yes, sir. Get out there to TJ and get them sold a bunch. Okay, good. Yeah. So there's certain ones that, if you've been to like TJ Maxx, Marshalls and that, you'll know that's the similar style. So if you can get it for $20, and then again, we got a merch fulfill, so we actually might get a little bit more there. Cause at least for me, I sent 12 backpacks today to the post. I got 12 orders of merch fulfilled backpacks. My average buy cost was $7.64. So some of them are like in the high $6 range. Some of them are like $9, but on average, right around 7 or 8. So, something like this, we're looking at now, it's $21. We saved like $1 basically merch fulfilling, a little over $1. Because yeah, 26.37, now we're 27.50. So a little bit over $1. Checkmate Flip, what's up, AC Flips? Congrats on 1K subs. Did I hit 1K finally? 2 more guys. I was at like 998 before the stream, so maybe we've got it boosted. Still 998. All right, we're close. But if you guys are watching now, please subscribe. Get me to 1,000. That would be sweet. Thanks for joining the live there, Seth. Yeah, like I said, if you guys have outlets or TJ Maxx's or whatever nearby, you're going to, some of the stuff I've been showing, you're going to recognize them the second you go in the store. So buy up literally everything. I bought, what did I buy? I bought like 5 backpacks from Academy because you can only buy 5 at a time. And then, the next day bought 5 more, all 10 sold the same day I listed them. So these things fly. Backpacks are crazy right now, so take advantage. We got a Ninja Pan. No, this one, backpack. This is an interesting one. I think this is another like TJ Maxx one. I've seen the black style of this. But that buy box, $46. That's pretty solid. And the rank is decent. So you buy five of these from the store, you can definitely find it. Okay, they got the gray one too. A little bit cheaper there, but it hit a low. Must have had a ton of sellers on it, and then people are selling off finally. It's basically there. You can start celebrating. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's been cool. I actually to get from 900 to 1,000 was a lot quicker than like 7 to 900. So the growth has been cool to see. But again, I'm just going to keep throwing content at you guys, providing value, and hopefully you appreciate that. So Old Spice, don't see too much of a back to school trend there, unless college kids are going crazy for Old Spice in their dorm rooms, which I can imagine some of them are. Let's see, what do we got here? Boxers, nah. Cleats, soccer ball. Okay, that's cool. We don't see a velocity trend or anything in the BSR, but still kind of cool. A random variation soccer ball is selling 15K ranked sports. That's pretty good. Not a ton of people on the listing here, but $17 might be a little tough to beat here. So make sure I'm not missing any comments there. So let's see. I mean, there's only 2 variations, so that's a really good sign. It's $20, not the same one, but we're looking at Qatar FIFA World Cup 22. So yeah, it sells 450 times a month. I mean, that's pretty solid. And if you wanted to merch fulfill, it looks like plenty of merch fulfillers are getting the buy box. So 41.37 is the buy box for FBM. And it's a little over a pound. So again, it's going to cost you probably like $7-8 to ship. And we're going to get the buy box at $37.98. So $14, a little cheap there. This one's got to be, it's got to be a mini. Yep, mini. And this one's probably, a 5. So $30 is going to be that cost we're looking at there. A little bit tough to find, to get that down to like 14 or whatever we were looking at. So probably going to skip this one. But again, this is like a product that if you caught it on a sale, I mean, I don't know who's getting this product, but if you caught it on a sale for 50% off or something, then you're maybe getting it for $15. Then it would have been a sweet buy there. So let's keep taking a look here. Keep looking. We've been live for almost 40 minutes. Holy, okay. I'm going to wrap it up semi soon here. We'll go a couple more minutes, ask your last final questions, and just appreciate all these people hanging out with me on a Friday. So, and if you're looking for a good alternative to soda, Olipop, solid, tasty thing there. Their cream soda version is awesome. Let's see here. Any other back to school stuff? We got interesting color. Brasilia backpack. Why not? Let's take a look. Olive, medium olive. Okay, I don't know if I've seen this variation. Maybe at like a rack room shoes or something. So the offer count is moving. You see these dips and stuff, all those little spikes and dips are people selling out. So that is a good sign. When there's no BSR, pay attention to that, right? You see this dip from 22 to 21, means one seller sold out of their stock. Goes back up, sold out of their stock. Down 1, sold out of their stock. Sold out of their stock. Goes up, down 2, sold out of their stock. Back up. All these dips are people in and out. And maybe some of it's like FC transfer showing that they have zero stock or they have stock, but I mean, there's enough of them to show that people are buying this and selling it. Offers tab might give us a little bit more info. 62 sales. And if people are selling quick, like this went from 11 to 3 in basically like 2 days. So could be selling, a couple a day, which is a pretty nice find here, but we have to find it in the first place. Like I said, I haven't seen this a ton. It is rack room. How did I know? So rack room, so 2140, that's really cheap. But we are merch fulfilling. Remember that. So FBM, $8. So we need this for $26.50. Buy one, get one 50% off at $50 is definitely not cheap enough. That only puts us at like $40 or 35 or something like that, and we need it for 25. So let's move on. Again, not sure if we found too many online arbitrage leads here, but we definitely found some like outlet, like those outlet leads. They sell crazy fast. And again, there's such limited competition on stuff like that. If you live near an outlet, I mean, literally, as if you go grocery shopping this weekend, stop by the outlet before you go grocery shopping and just peruse the backpack section. If there's any, even one color, one of the sizes or the variations or whatever, scan it. It looks good. Buy it, because there's, an easy $15 profit. You got to package up one item and you take it to the post office. I mean, that's easy work for 18 bucks. And if you find a bunch of them, you're going to sell all of them in the same day, or at least in a couple days. And it's going to be some solid profits. This month is a very high profit month for me because I've been selling so many of these merge fulfill, which a lot of times saves you a few dollars compared to FBA. So this is an interesting one, 182K, which is pretty high up there, but still only 7 sellers in the listing. Buy box is pretty high. Let's take a look. It's got 2 different variations here. Haven't seen this one around, but again, maybe this is another outlet lead, but not a ton of sellers, like I said. Reviews are going up as of recent. The rank is holding pretty steady below 200K or right around 200K. 97. Let's see here. We'll look at the variations just to make sure we got the right one. Okay, we don't. So, but this one's way more expensive. So this one we'd probably avoid altogether. Like at 200K rank, this one sells like 5% of the time. Although, hang on, let's just make sure here. I mean, this one is going up in ratings. So, okay, actually, I lied. So we just got to pay attention to this kind of stuff. This one's been tracking for 4 years. This one's been tracking for less than, a half a year. So the fact that this thing is going up in ratings for only being on the listing for 100 days, and this thing has only gone up 1 rating in the last 3 months. I mean, if we go, we're in the last 90 days. So when this thing became a listing, this thing has gone up a couple ratings literally in the last month. So this one probably actually sells more than this one, if I had to guess. So we might stick to that actually. Hope that makes sense. Just understand why one listing has more ratings than another listing one variation has more ratings than the other. Is it because it's just been on the listing so much longer, or is it because it's getting more ratings, the farther you go? $52 max cost here. Whew, expensive one. This has got to be an outlet one as well, because I mean, people are either buying it from eBay, $68. I mean, the stores are selling them for $90, 89. Like, there's no way, unless they were like 50% off at some point. All right, let's get one more lead in here, at least from this. Let's look at, let's go back to like this one, because let's go back to one of those outlet finds here. Yeah, like this one here. Who's selling this stuff? We're going to go on this listing. We're just going to look at another FBM, and we're going to find another storefront. And if they're selling this, they're selling other outlet products. So kind of a sneaky way to find like outlet leads. If you know there's one product from an outlet, there's no way they're not finding other ones. They're probably scanning the whole store and they're buying everything out. So we're going to go look at other storefronts here. 800. How do you have 800 in stock? So they're FBM. Probably don't have that many in stock, but they're trying to bump the buy box for themselves. This person, FBA 32, they're going to sell out of those pretty quickly. 2K rank, yeah. This person could literally sell out in 1 day. 30 backpacks in a day at $22 profit. If they're getting it for $52, whatever, $50. Sorry, let's just see. 32 bucks or 32 items. Make $600 profit in 1 day. I mean, that's insane numbers. Anyway, we're looking at the other sellers in this listing. Let's see here. We have this person. Now let's just look at one. I don't want to keep you guys too long. 45-minute stream. That's a long one. That might be the longest I've ever done. But we see backpacks. This backpack is good if you can get it cheap enough. Sold a couple of those this month. What else do we have here? That one, that's too cheap. Too cheap. Not sure. Adidas, Amazon's off of it, or at least ran out of stock. That's really solid rank. Let's take a look here. Can only buy 5 per day at an outlet. All right. Yeah, I definitely don't go to outlets, so I don't know anything. So good to know. Good to know. So this variation, let's just see how often this one even sells. 400K. I mean, to maintain a 400 rank, it's got, like I said, 15,000 times a month. So every variation or all the variations combined sells a minimum of like 500 times a month. So crazy numbers there. Look at how many of these other ones that Amazon is out of stock on. I mean, these could be like, look at, oh my gosh, just the ratings going nuclear. So a lot of these are selling. I mean, it's insane, but so many of these are selling. Like maybe these two don't because they literally have 0 ratings. A little bit risky, but like the one we have definitely sells. I mean, look at the ratings. It's going straight up in the last month. So just because they only have 42, it's probably a pretty new variation, right? Yeah, tracking less than a year. A lot of these backpacks don't sell crazy amounts like non-back to school season. Like people aren't buying backpacks in March. There's no point. So let's see if we can get it cheap enough. And maybe this is like a TJ Maxx find. Maybe it's an outlet find, but either way, Amazon was selling for 36. Looks like FBM sellers are at 53. That is nice. 52. So 24 bucks. Might be a little cheap. All right, 31. That's close. We're getting close. $30 off 20. We're getting real close. All right. Well, this should be a good starting point. Anybody who's watching this, don't look at that one. Sorry, Corey. I just bust your lead. Yeah, I mean, like this variation or this listing, there's probably how many of these variations you can go out and find. And we were close on this one. I mean, there's got to be some other ones that are pretty close as well. So I think I'm going to end it on that. It's been a lot of fun chatting with you guys. The chat's been really good. So thank you for all the questions and banter. But hopefully I can start going live a little bit more. Corey. Yeah, thanks for tuning in today. Whoever was watching, I appreciate you watching, hanging out with me on a Friday. But see you next time.